Good afternoon, it's Eddie. It's 3:14 p.m. and many areas of western Newfoundland are seeing some very intense snow squalls this afternoon. Check out this video from Deer Lake taken by Nathan Garcia, and you can see the snow in Deer Lake earlier was extremely intense. Can hardly see across the street, and the snow and the wind gusting close to 100 kilometers per hour. And many areas of western Newfoundland are seeing conditions like this. Same thing for the south coast, parts of southeastern Newfoundland, and even coastal Labrador as well, seeing blizzard conditions this afternoon. As we take a look at the latest webcams across the island, we can see in Central, we're not looking too bad. In St. John's, we're not too bad for the time being, but the squalls have kind of been in and out. Corner Brook, it is snowing, but it looks like it's not as heavy as it was even a few minutes ago, but that's going to come in waves throughout the remainder of the evening, and it looks like the snow just picked up in the Port aux Basques area, as we can see visibility on the TCH just outside of town is next to nothing. Port au Port Peninsula, can't really see a whole lot there. As we take a look into Harbor Breton, can't see a whole lot there, so I suspect the Canagra Peninsula is quite gnarly right now as well. Now, taking a look at the road conditions across the island from the NL511 page, you can see lots of orange and red on the map, which means travel is not advised, and the Burgeo Highway is closed. So if you don't have to be out, I suggest you don't go out this afternoon. Some roads are just covered or partly covered, but it looks like a large swath from just south of Terra Nova through much of the Avalon, Burin Peninsula, much of the West Coast. Travel is not advised at this hour, and you can get all that information by visiting nl511.ca. We have the snow squall warnings in effect right now for the Avalon Peninsula, the South Coast, Burin Peninsula, West Coast, Green Bay, White Bay, Deer Lake, Humber Valley, all the way up toward Parsons Pond, Hawke's Bay, Parsons Pond, Hawke's Bay, Port Saunders, and the Straits. And the Northern Peninsula East and the Bonavista Peninsula is under a snow squall watch. Remember, a watch means snow squalls are possible. A warning means snow squalls are happening. Wind warnings up for a large swath of Newfoundland as well, along with some areas of southeastern Labrador for winds gusting close to, if not over, 100 kilometers per hour. In Labrador, special weather statements, blowing snow advisories, and blizzard warnings are currently in effect. It looks like the area around Postville and Makovic and up through Hopedale will see very heavy snowfall ending late tonight or early tomorrow morning, possibly exceeding 50 centimeters in some areas. We take a look at the radar imagery for western Newfoundland right now, and we can see there are two snow squalls that I'm concerned about, and there are two snow squalls on the west coast I'm currently concerned about. We've got one that looks like it's just south of Cornerberg right now and right over the Bay St. George area, and another one it looks like up towards Rocky Harbor, Norris Point, Woody Point, and Bond Bay. And these are very intense. I do suspect there are more snow squalls up north and more down to the south, but the radar just won't pick them up as the snow squalls are pretty low and the radar just kind of overshoots the top of them. But as I set these into motion, you can see they're moving kind of from west to east and also a little bit north to south. So Corner Brook, it looks like you're kind of going to get a break, but the next one is kind of coming this way, and we'll move in over the next couple of hours. And Bay St. George, Stephenville area, you'll get out of this one in a short while, but again, we're going to get another one probably this evening. In areas up through Green Bay, White Bay, travel conditions anywhere west of like Grand Falls, Windsor are probably pretty terrible this afternoon, so certainly keep that in mind. As we go farther to the east, we're also looking at the snow squalls at this hour, but they're a lot less widespread and a lot less intense, at least on the radar imagery. But it does look like from your Cape St. Francis down just north of Cape St. Mary's and again around Cape Race and Cape Pine, we are seeing some snow squalls, but again, they're not nearly as intense as they are along the west coast, and they're a bit more transient as well, meaning they're moving a little bit more from west to east. We take a look at some of these things in the visible satellite loop. They're a bit hard to see, but where you see these narrow lines of cloud, and I'll annotate that for you with my pointer, which is right there. And where you see these narrow lines of clouds, that's generally where the snow squalls are. And so Grand Falls, Windsor, sunny for you, but just west, you're seeing some of those snow squalls, even extending all the way up east of St. Anthony. And that's kind of part of that one that goes back down through Corner Brook. So again, travel for many areas of western Newfoundland pretty terrible right now in Labrador. It's sunny in the south for now, but look at the cloud cover coming on shore around Makovic and down through Upper Lake Melville, Happy Valley, Goose Bay, Churchill Falls, all very stormy this afternoon. Temperatures across the island mid-teens, wind chills close to -30 for a lot of us, wind speeds as of about 2:30 this afternoon. 87 sustained Stephenville, winds gusting 113, so it's very, very stormy under these snow squall bands across western Newfoundland, downright blizzard at times. Into Labrador, temperatures into the minus teens and 20s, wind chills into the minus 20s, 30s, and 40s. In Nain right now, winds are 67, Hopedale 63. They're gusting 93 in Nain, and they're going to pick up overnight in Hopedale. In fact, for parts of coastal Labrador, wind speeds this evening may gust in excess of 120 or 130 kilometers per hour. So there's your weather alerts. Your extreme cold warning in effect for the island for wind chills to minus 30, in Labrador wind chills to minus 50, and across much of Quebec and the maritime provinces, extreme cold warnings are still in effect. So here's Futurecast. Again, we'll show the snow persisting in coastal Labrador. What it doesn't show is the high wind speeds en route for coastal Labrador as we go into this evening. Again, briefly tonight, later this afternoon tonight, winds gusting 120, 130, not out of the question. And those winds will calm down late tonight. The snow will wind down across the island late tonight as well, and conditions for Sunday are going to be vastly improved from today. Much of the snow in Labrador has fallen, but some areas will see a little bit more as we go into tomorrow morning, so certainly keep that in mind, and I suspect some of the totals on this map might be a little bit underdone. On the island, some of the amounts across southern and western Newfoundland are going to be a little less than what you see here, but a lot of areas are going to see more than what you see here as well, especially where you're under the consistent and constant snow squalls, but they're so narrow, it's hard to say exactly where that's going to be. But in St. John's, not a whole lot of snow expected, but for the west coast, a lot of snow has already fallen. More is going to fall, especially in the high terrain, where upwards of 30 or 40 or 50 centimeters or more may have fallen by the time Sunday morning rolls around. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if some areas of western Newfoundland's high terrain see close to a meter of snow by the time tomorrow morning rolls around. All right, that's your update for this afternoon. I really can't tell you a whole lot more. Just batting on the hatches, especially if you're in coastal Labrador. I know it's stormy up that way on the island. It's windy now. It's cold. The winds will slowly subside overnight, and tomorrow, if you got buried today, is going to be a better cleanup day. So today, I just enjoy being inside. Stay safe. Stay warm. And that's all I can tell you for right now. Have a great afternoon.